or afternoon or evening, depending whenever it is that you're watching this. Hope you're having a good day. This is just going to be a really gentle practice, just designed to open up the body. You might do it first thing in the morning, you might do it last thing in the evening, you might do it if you've been sat in a chair all day. So nothing strenuous at all, nice and relaxed. Just going to open up the joints, stretch out some of the muscles and see if we can release a little bit of tension. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. So just bringing the knees together and taking the feet a little bit wider than hip width. And getting yourself comfortable. We're going to rest one hand on the abdomen and one hand just kind of on the chest, on the heart space, wherever you can comfortably reach. It's better if you can to have your elbows relaxed down on the floor rather than have the elbows lifted, and you can always pop a block or a brick underneath the elbows if you want. Just close your eyes. Take a few breaths with a sense of settling. So your spine starts to melt down into the support of the earth. Breath, nice and gentle in and out through the nose. And your shoulders relax. And your face softens. Just see if you can allow your breathing to begin to slow down. Just noticing where you're feeling the breath in the body. You feel it more in your chest, do you feel it more in your abdomen, a little bit of bone. As you're here, just seeing if you can start to draw the breath a little bit further down into the abdomen. So as you inhale, your belly expands. And then as you exhale, navel draws back towards the spine. We'll just take a few rounds of this quite deliberate breath. Inhaling deep into the belly. And exhaling, navel draws back towards the spine. Take a couple more like that. Just trying to stay engaged with the breath. So just trying to keep your mind focused on the breath. And then for the last couple of breaths here, see if you can insert a pause between the inhale and the exhale. So you've got your inhale deep into the belly. Top of the inhale, there's just a small pause. And then the exhale, out through the nose, navel draws back towards the spine. At the end of your exhale, you've got that small pause again before you take the next inhale. Just take one more round like that. At the end of your next exhale, just allow your breath to begin to return to normal. And then when you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Take the hands around the tops of the shins. Just have a little rock from side to side. And then release your feet back down onto the mat. So knees are still bent, arms alongside you. And as you inhale, just starting to lift the hips and the chest slightly away from the mat. And you're going to keep the shoulders down, so the weight's going to stay in the shoulders. It's not going to move into the head or the neck. And as you exhale, just nice and slowly, the spine comes back down onto your mat. So you move with control. Inhale, lifting up through the hips. Exhale, drawing it back down. And we're going to add in the arms. So as you inhale, the hips lift, and the arms are going to reach up overhead alongside the ears. As you exhale, release the arms back down and the hips back down at the same time. Couple more. Inhale. And exhaling. And this next one we're going to hold. So inhale to lift. Reach the arms up overhead. Just a very gentle squeeze in of the glutes there. You don't want your knees to wing out to the side, so keep pressing down big toe sides of the feet. One more breath. And then as you exhale, the arms will come back alongside you as the hips come back down onto your mat. And then from there, we're going to draw the knees back in towards the chest. Again, find a little bit of movement from side to side. And then just take your knees very gently over to your right hand side. Extend your left arm out alongside you and turn to look out over your left shoulder. So that left shoulder is gently drawing down towards your mat. If you need support underneath your knees or between your knees, you can always use a cushion or a yoga block or brick. And then inhale, bring the head back through to centre, the legs back through to centre, and then as you exhale, we'll take the knees to the left, extend your right arm and take your gaze to the right. And then inhale, bring the head back through to centre, the legs back through to centre. So going to take the feet back down onto your mat, keep the legs bent, and take your right foot onto your left thigh. If your hips are tight, maybe that's where you stay, or maybe you can start to draw the left leg in towards you. Hands just go around the back of the left thigh. Couple of breaths here, so just opening through the outer right hip. You've got that sense of groundedness through the spine. Awareness always on the breath and on the body. And then for the last couple of breaths, just for a hamstring stretch, you can straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Try and keep the tailbone down on the mat. You don't want the hips to lift. One more breath. And then bend your left knee, take your left foot back down onto your mat, unhook your right foot. So other side, left foot to right thigh, maybe that's where you stay. Maybe you can start to draw the right leg in towards you. Again, that sense of staying grounded through the hips. Try and keep soft in the shoulders and the face. The option is there if you wish to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee, take the right foot back down onto your mat. Unhook the left foot, and from there we're going to come up through to seated. You can roll to your right hand side and come up that way, or you can cross your ankles and just have a couple of little rolls backwards and forwards, maybe just a little bit of kind of massaging of the spine. And then we'll come over onto all fours. Take your knees a little wider than hip width and find your way into your child's pose. So connecting back to the breath. If you're comfortable with Ujjayi breathing, you can always move through to your breath with sound. Just looking for some length in the spine. And then as you inhale, then walk the hands over towards the right hand side. So it's like you're laying the body now over your right thigh. And have a couple of breaths here. Maybe you come up onto the left fingertips. Just finding some length into the left side body. As with any yoga practice, you always work within your own comfortable limits. Only do what feels right for you. If you experience any pain in any of these poses, then coming straight out. So on your next inhale, we'll walk the hands back through to centre, and then we're going to go over to our left. And if your forehead doesn't reach the floor, you can pop it on a block or a brick. And maybe just come up onto tented fingers with the right hand. To the right sitting bone, the right hips, staying where it is, almost drawing back, and then you're reaching out to the right fingers. Noticing where you're feeling the stretch. And then inhale your way back through to centre, and from there we'll come up onto all fours. So moving through a few rounds of happy cat and angry cat. Just finding some space between your fingers. As you inhale, lifting the chin and the tailbone. And as you exhale, rounding your spine, tucking the tailbone chin to chest. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. And as you exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Couple more. After your next exhale, coming back through to a flat back. And from there, we'll tuck our toes and find our way into our downwards facing dog. So if you're feeling a little bit tight, you might keep both of these bent. You might choose to pat the feet, bending one knee, straightening the other leg. Maybe a couple of breaths like that. And then swap it over. Just whatever you need to do in this pose, just start to feel your way into your body. And then from there, as you inhale, we're going to step the right foot forward between the hands and drop down onto your left knee. Find padding underneath that left knee if you need it, and make sure your right knee is stacking over your ankle. And then as you inhale, draw the hips forwards, the heart forwards. As you exhale, take it back. Inhale to come forwards. Exhale back. A couple more. So just like a cat and cow, but here in your lunge. So the next time we come forwards, we'll keep it there. I'm going to bring the hands up onto the right thigh. Softening through the shoulders. Take your right hand onto your right thigh and extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. So lengthening there, and then as you exhale, we're tipping over to the right hand side. So you're finding some length through the left side body. Like the hip is drawing down as you're reaching out through the fingers. Take one more breath. And then as you inhale, come back through to upright. Hands down either side of your right foot. Take your hips back. So you might be able to edge that right foot out in front a little bit more. Keep a bend in the knee if it's tight there. Lengthen on the inhale and as you exhale, you're folding forwards over your right leg. Shoulders are soft. Always coming back to the breath. Let's take one more. And then inhale, coming back through to upright. We're going to keep the left hand to the floor. You can always use a block or a brick if you wish. And extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. And again, you can bend the right knee if you need to. Almost drawing back and down through the right hip, extending out through the crown of the head. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand down, come back into your lunge. You're going to put the bend back in your right knee, tuck your left toes underneath and step it back into downward facing dog. And then from there, as you next inhale, walk your hands in towards your feet. So we're going to have a few breaths here in our dangling forward bend. Just hook onto your opposite elbows, put as much of a bend in the knees as you need to. The hamstrings are tight, soften the knees. If you've got any back issues, it can be much more forgiving on the back to have a little bend in the knees. Maybe give the head a little bit of a shake here. And then release your hands and walk your hands back out in front of you, downward facing dog. So we'll work with the other side. As you inhale, we're going to step the left foot forward between the hands, drop down onto the right knee. Again, make sure your left knee is stacked over the ankle. And we'll find some movement here. So inhale, hips come forwards, heart draws forwards. Exhale, take it back. Couple more. Last one. And then inhale to bring it forwards. And we'll bring the hands up onto your left thigh. So softening through the shoulders, keeping the left hand on the thigh, reaching the right arm up alongside the ears. And as you exhale, tipping over to your left hand side. So that right hip is drawing down. Reaching out through the right fingers. I'll take one more breath. And then inhale, come back through to upright. Hands frame the left foot. Hips move back. And maybe that left heel edges out in front of you a bit more. Try not to let the left hip come forwards. We'll square off the hips. And as you exhale, folding forwards over your left leg. So bend the knee as much as you need to. Work on trying to keep the back flat. So you're not trying to get your nose towards your knee. Try and keep some space in the chest. Awareness of what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. And then as you inhale, we'll come back through, lifting the chest. Right hand to the floor or to a block or a brick. And the left arm's going to reach up towards the ceiling. Try not to roll over too much onto the right side. So that left hip draws back and down. Keep the spine nice and long by reaching out through the crown of the head. And then we'll bring the left hand back down. Again, come forwards back into your lunge, tuck your right toe, step it back, downwards facing dog. And then start to walk your hands again in towards your feet. So again, we'll have a few breaths in that dangling forward bend. Just coming into your version of this pose, looking for a little bit of a stretch to the back of the legs. through the back. Two more breaths. Softening with each exhale, releasing tension. And then just releasing your arms down and bending the knees, walking it back through this time into a plank pose. And then if you want to drop the knees down first, do. We're going to come all the way down onto our mats. Taking your hands out wider than mat width. And if it feels okay, tented fingers, but if not, palms flat. And then we'll just kind of a couple of back bends here. So inhale, rippling up to a gentle cobra. And as you exhale, come back down. So a couple more, just moving fluidly with the breath. Oh, cracking my arm. One more. And then exhale, bringing it back down, hands underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, come back up onto all fours. And then we'll find our way back into our child's pose. From there, as you inhale, finding your way in once more into your downwards facing dog. And then we're going to come through to seated. So just gently, in whichever way best suits you, sitting yourself down on your mat. So extending your legs out in front of you, we're going to bend up the right leg. And just cradling the right knee with the left arm, come through into a twist. We'll take the right hand behind us. Lengthen up through the spine. You want both sitting bones down on your mats. And as you exhale, you're twisting gently to your right hand side. So your right shoulder is drawing back. Your gaze is to the right. Take one more breath. And then lengthen as you inhale. As you exhale, come back through to centre. We're going to take the right foot to the outside of the left thigh. So moving through into Gomukhasana. It may be that this is where you stay, and you turn to face this way. If your hips allow, you might be able to bend up your left leg, take your left heel to the outside of your right hip. Sit yourself down between your feet, and if this feels quite strong, you can sit on a cushion or even two cushions. So finding your arm stretch here, taking your left arm up alongside your ear, drop your hand between your shoulders and take your right hand to your left elbow. So you're gently drawing the left elbow back behind the head. You do have the option, if it feels okay, to take your right arm behind you and see if you can hold on to your left fingers. So have a couple of breaths here. Keep the spine nice and long. Try not to drop the head forwards. You've got space in your chest. And then from there, as you exhale, release your arms, keep the back nice and flat, and if it feels okay to, as you exhale, we'll fold forwards. Keeping tension out of the shoulders, out of the face. One more breath. And then inhale, bring it back through to upright, and as you exhale, release out your legs. So we'll do the same thing the other side. We'll bend the left foot, or bend the left leg, the foot comes in towards the right thigh. We'll cradle the left knee with the right arm and take the left hand behind us. See if you can keep the right foot flexed, a little bit of energy and awareness there. Lift up through the crown of the head on the inhale, and as you exhale, twisting to your left hand side. And just noticing the breath. How does it differ when you come into this twist? How does it feel in the spine? Each inhale, can you keep the length in the spine? And then inhale to lengthen, exhale to come back through to centre. And we'll take the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Turn the foot, so the top of the foot faces down, left knee is on top of the right. And again, you have the option to stay there and work, or you can bring the right heel over towards the left hip. So moving into our arm variation, take the right arm up towards the ceiling, bend the elbow, drop the hand between the shoulder blades. Left hand to right elbow. Maybe that's where you want to stay. You're drawing the elbow back behind the head. Maybe you can take the left hand behind you and hold on to your right fingers. Come back to your breath. Release out the arms, lengthen the spine on the inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards. It's paying attention to your body, releasing out of the pose if you need to. Don't stay here if it's problematic for you. And then inhale, bring it back through to upright. And then extending both legs out in front of you. And again, softening the knees if you're tight in the back of the legs, if you've got any back issues. Lengthen the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, just gently folding forwards here. So again, we're not trying to get the head necessarily down to the legs. We're thinking about drawing the navel forwards, keeping the back nice and flat, and the shoulders soft. And as you're here for time, you might find your body opens and allows you in a little deeper. And just have a few more breaths here, finding a sense of softness and of letting go. Remembering that yoga is a journey. Each pose is a journey, and there is no destination. It's not that we have to get to the head to the legs. It's not that we have to arrive anywhere. It's all about enjoying the journey and just being where you are in the moment. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then as you next inhale, bringing yourself back through to upright. And we're going to come into our Shavasana. So lying yourself back down on your mat. But for this Shavasana, I'm going to give you the option. If you have a wall to hand, then take this to a wall. You just want to get your bum as close to the wall as you can and take the legs up the wall. And if that's okay, if you've got a space where you can do that, we're going to take our Shavasana there today. If you don't have a wall handy, just making yourself comfortable on your mat. Getting any pillows, blankets, eye pillows that you need to. And settling yourself down. can be really tempting to switch off the video now and go and get on with your day, but just remembering that this is a really important pose. It's important we take this time for ourselves to rest. So taking as long here as you wish. See you next time. Namaste.